The phone wouldn't stop vibrating, not ringing. Vibrating, like it was afraid to speak too loudly, afraid I might finally listen. 71 missed calls, all from the same number. Her. I let the screen go dark again. Across the table, my wine glass remained untouched. The villa lights reflected in it, clean, expensive, quiet. Switzerland had a way of making silence feel like power. Hours ago, that same silence had been broken. "If you want to join Thanksgiving, come wash the dishes." Her voice had cracked through the phone, like something cheap pretending to be sharp. I didn't react. Didn't argue. Didn't remind her who paid for the house she was standing in or the food she was so proudly hosting. I just said one word. "Enjoy." Then I hung up. That was before I posted the photos, before the marble floors, before the infinity pool disappearing into the Alps, before the caption, "Peace is expensive, worth every cent," and now, 71 calls. Funny how respect arrives late, but always dressed as panic. I leaned back in my chair, watching the mountains fade into darkness. She thought she had control. She thought I was still the man who cried while she partied. She thought wrong. Tonight wasn't about anger. It was about correction, and corrections are always precise. It didn't start with proof. It never does. It started with absence. The kind you can't explain, only feel. She laughed differently. Not with me. Around me. Her phone became an extension of her body, always face down, always within reach. And me? I became background noise, a convenient presence, a financial structure, a man she could lean on while leaning into someone else. The first crack came one night at 2:13 a.m. She thought I was asleep. A whisper, a soft laugh, a name that wasn't mine. I didn't move, didn't breathe differently, just listened. That's the thing about betrayal. It doesn't explode. It erodes, slowly, quietly, until one day, there's nothing left to hold. The next morning, she kissed me like routine. Not affection. Routine. "I was just stressed," she said later that week when I asked why she'd been distant. "A mistake," she added. But mistakes don't repeat themselves with precision. Mistakes don't require passwords. Mistakes don't smile at their screens in the dark. The lies didn't come all at once. They came in layers, thin, careful, like she believed if she stacked enough of them, I wouldn't notice the weight. I did. I just didn't react. Because reaction is what betrayers expect. Silence. That's what they fear. I didn't confront her. That would have been easy. Too easy. Instead, I watched. I learned her patterns. When she smiled, when she lied, when she left, there was always a pattern. There's always a flaw. I started small. Phone records, nothing obvious. She wasn't careless. But she wasn't perfect either. Numbers saved under fake names, short calls, frequent, consistent. Then came the photos. Not hers, his. A reflection in a window she didn't notice. A man standing too close, too comfortable. I didn't feel rage. That surprised me. No shaking hands. No broken objects. Just clarity. Like solving a puzzle I didn't know I'd been building. I hired someone quiet, efficient. He didn't ask questions. I didn't offer explanations. Within a week, I had everything. Timelines, locations, hotels, receipts. A life she had constructed. Parallel to mine, perfectly hidden. Or so she thought. And still, I said nothing. At dinner, I listened. At night, I pretended to sleep. I even smiled once. When she told me she loved me, that one almost made me laugh. Love. What a convenient word. It covers everything. Even betrayal, if you say it gently enough. But I wasn't interested in words anymore. I wanted truth. Cold. Documented. Undeniable. And when it arrived, I didn't open it immediately. I poured myself a drink first. Sat down, took a breath. Because I knew, once I saw it, there would be no going back. The folder was thin. It didn't need to be thick. Truth rarely is. I flipped through it slowly. Photos first. Her. Laughing. Touching him like she used to touch me. Looking at him like I used to matter. Then the confirmations. Dates. Times. Payments. Everything aligned. Perfectly. Painfully. There it was. Not suspicion. Not instinct. Proof. I closed the folder. Not gently. Not violently. Just final. That night she came home late. Perfume I didn't recognize. A smile she didn't deserve. "You're still awake?" she asked. I nodded. Yeah. A pause, a flicker of something in her eyes. Fear? Maybe. I slid the folder across the table. No words. She stared at it. Then at me, then back again. Slowly she opened it. The silence stretched. Tight. Heavy. Until it snapped. It's not what you think. I raised my hand. Not aggressively. Just enough to stop the lie before it formed. I know exactly what it is. My voice didn't shake. Didn't rise. Didn't break. Hers did. Tears came quickly. Conveniently. It was a mistake. No, I said. Those require accidents. She collapsed into the chair, crying, explaining, begging, words spilling over each other like they could drown the truth. I just watched, detached, because in that moment, she wasn't losing me. She was realizing she never had control. I didn't leave. Not immediately. That would have given her closure, and I wasn't in the business of giving gifts. Instead, I waited, planned, adjusted. The villa wasn't a coincidence. It was a message, a demonstration. While she was building lies, I was building an exit. Accounts moved, assets transferred, names removed. By the time she noticed, there was nothing left for her to hold on to. Not me, not my money, not my life. And then, the final piece, her new someone. I arranged that too, not him. But the exposure, a carefully sent package, to the right people, at the right time. Truth has a way of spreading. When guided, the call started hours later. Her voice messages came through one after another. Panicked. Broken. Please call me. They know. I didn't think. Exactly. She didn't think. That was the problem. I picked up once. Just once, her breathing filled the line. Heavy, desperate. Why are you doing this? She whispered. I smiled. Not out of joy, out of precision. I'm not doing anything, I said. I just stopped protecting you. And then I hung up. For the last time. The mountains didn't care. They stood there, unmoved, unimpressed, just like I did now. No anger, no regret. Just silence. Clean, earned. I thought about everything. The nights I stayed awake. The moments I doubted myself. The way I almost confronted her too early. Emotion is a liability. Control. That's power. She lost everything chasing something temporary. I lost nothing. Because I let go before it was taken. The phone buzzed again. I turned it off this time. Not because it bothered me, but because it no longer mattered. I stood up. Walked to the window. Watched the last light disappear behind the mountains. And for the first time in a long time, I felt nothing. No pain. No attachment. No need for answers. Just clarity. Cold. Sharp. Final. Some people think revenge is about destruction. They're wrong. It's about removal. And tonight, I removed her completely. Like she never existed. Like she never mattered. And maybe that was the cruelest truth of all.